What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In celebration for the Artemis 2 launch that was successful, we're going to do another round of Star Citizen. I did stream a little bit earlier today, and I've really been taking a liking to this game, especially after looking at some more of the 4.7 updates. And let's get right into it. Today we're going to do a little bit of hand mining, some of the different mission types, gather some resources, see where we can find iron. I know there was an update to easily find certain resources, and I didn't really look at it before when I played earlier, but apparently when you click on either a moon or a planet or something, it tells you what available resources are there. So I'm going to check that out. That way I can, start dipping my toes into that gameplay style. I do enjoy the cargo hauling, like I said last stream, but all the activities I found in the game are pretty enjoyable. There's been nothing that's, really I haven't liked. This game being quite the open sandbox of activities to do. There's, you can do mining for a reason, for crafting, or you can just do it for money. You can do mining in a contract that'll pay you extra money, or just do the mining to get the material to sell it at a commodity shop, or there's specific missions set up to get valuable resources and then sell them. So once again, we're here in our Hermes. We bed logged last time, so I would strongly suggest, if you're going to get one of the ships that's a starter ship, I would either go with the Intrepid or the Avenger Titan. I personally went with the Avenger Titan just for its capabilities as a fighter jet, so I can immediately jump into more activities like mercenary missions or bounties or things like that. So
enjoy the ride. System check.
Right, let's see what we have here for hand mining. We'll go down to contracts and do offers, salvage, hauling. Okay, so it doesn't give us any mining because we're not on a planet, I would imagine. Let's go with stellar hauling. Junior rank medium. 50 tungsten. And 40 tungsten. Okay, so Arc L1, Wide Forest Station. Let's see if this mission is working. Alright.
Shields are off. Engines are on.
Collect shipment, deliver shipment. Okay.
Shields are off.
It appears we have quite the jump to make. I'm not sure if this is actually going to work, because if you see up in the top right, it doesn't have the collect, it only has the deliver.
Quantum drive is now on.
Yeah, and we still have the noise bug. So we're going to sit here and do quite the amount of travel here at 54 gigameters. It's going to take a little while, so if you want, go grab yourself a drink, maybe go to the restroom. These are bugs that definitely need to be fixed early. I mean, it's not really game breaking for me, but I'm sure it's, see, as soon as we go to the third person view, we now have all the ambient noises. Just a nice looking ship. go right back to the inside, no noise. This is just something that occurred also within the 4.7 update. It wasn't like this in 4.6. And it's crazy to me too, because the Hermes is a new ship that just dropped last update, so it really shouldn't have any of these problems. I mean, this ship should, it should be clean right off the bat. I mean, when it dropped and I initially purchased it, it was completely 100% operational, except for one bug within the lift that's in the back of the ship. Just seems to, let's see if we can hopefully it doesn't warp me out of my ship with some kind of weird bug. But yeah, this right here, this tractor lift right here, had a very slow rotation on it to be able to move around cargo. It slid along the track well, it grabbed everything well. It just had a very slow rotational speed, so hopefully they fixed it. So that's what kind of why I want to do a larger cargo haul. That way I can check to make sure, because normally I've been using the max lift, the handheld large tractor, to move around cargo and do things. So I completely forgot to test that to make sure that it's 100% operational, runs smooth. But yeah, go America. Godspeed to those individuals heading to the moon, do research. If we have any hope of possibly getting off of this planet, we need to drastically improve our ability for planetary and interstellar travel. My own personal opinion, I'm not sure if humanity is going to be able to do it. I think it's more a factor of running out of time and resources than anything. And then not to mention the biological side of it. What do we do when space travel takes years to reach a destination? What do we do when we have children that are born on, stations that don't have the same pollen or molds, bacterias, viruses? That's going to be a problem when you think about the evolutionary scale of our biology and how we protect ourselves against threats, no matter how large or small they are. Within one generation of someone being born on a planet that has 1/3 the gravity of what Earth does, what does that do to us biologically? I don't know if enough people have thought about that situation or understand the scope of it. Our bone density and our muscle structure and our intelligence, the amount of oxygen that we require is all based off of everything we know here on this planet. What do our bones look like in 1/3 gravity? Our muscle structure, how does that change an individual's body? So those are things to think about. And I don't know if enough people are on it or enough people understand, how big of a deal that really is. And then, we're just whittling away and wasting away our resources, I mean, we can't even get enough individuals on this planet to properly do recycling. We need those resources. We need those things. Otherwise, we're just going to end up in some dystopian Earth where resources are dry and it's literally becomes, a Mad Max situation, whether it's over food or water or, certain resources. I really hope I can collect this cargo here. Oh, look at that right there, right in front of me. Perfect.
Landing gear deployed.
You know, the first generation that's either born on a space station or another planet is realistically not going to be able to come in contact with any human from Earth because, you know, we will have different viruses and things. I mean, we already know that to be true because, you know, look at what happened when, you know, we settled the Americas, or, you know, the Spaniards brought, you know, flus and viruses, you know, to foreign lands.
Landing complete.
So, you know, if that was true here on Earth, that's obviously going to be true, you know, on a completely different system. You know, to not know what it's like to, you know, have a resistance to something as simple as pollen. You know, what is milkweed going to do to you? What are, you know, what is the common flu going to do? Looks like we have our cargo. Tungsten, tungsten, and tungsten. Excellent. Bar max tractor lift here. Max lift. We'll start loading this in. It's all tungsten, which makes it nice and easy. It's just going to, you know, Seraphim and Port Tressler. Port Tressler's back over by Microtech, so I'm gonna have to see which one is closer once I get onto my star map. I'm not quite sure where Seraphim Station is. And we're really going to need to, you know, focus on things that are helpful in the world. All the Earth has ever known is in constant war over land and resources and things like that. And, you know, if we don't realize that, you know, we're going to need to work together, then we're just doomed to be here. And that's just a fact. We can't even have people that are cordial on the roadways. You know, people let their emotions seize them and control them way too easily. By no means am I saying, you know, that I'm perfect, and, you know, I haven't done that myself, but the older you get, you learn. You learn how to think about things rationally and not in the moment. You know, there's a reason things are called, you know, crimes in the heat of passion. You know, there's a reason why there's, you know, a wait when you want to exercise your right to pick up a weapon, a handgun here in the United States. It's because of it, you know, we understand that, you know, people deal with things and they're not thinking properly at the moment, so, you know, give them a little bit of time to cool off. But yeah, I often wonder. I mean, I'll be long gone, when all this success happens, if it does occur, and I just hope there's a deliberate effort to think about things in a logical manner to move us forward. That people are going to be thinking about, the inability for the human biology to change so rapidly through the evolutionary scale. And we can't just go walk onto, Mars or a space station and expect a human to look like a human when it doesn't have the same gravity. I mean, not to get into, alien talk or anything like that, but, most of the depictions of the alien species always show them as smaller in stature, larger in brain, spindly arms and bodies. I mean, that really wouldn't be far off, what we would need on an evolutionary scale, to survive. Less nutrition, but higher quality. There have been movies that have, shown the predictions for, when aliens come here and they die of, our virus in our environment or our atmospheric pressure or things like that. And it would be naive to think that we wouldn't fall prey to those same things. I mean, those are universal facts that, you can't deny. You can't just be like, oh, well, because we're human, that's not going to happen to us when we, attempt to inhabit another, biome. Okay, we're almost loaded up here. We can go do our first drop. I'll probably end up doing the Seraphim first. Oop. Just so I can end up over there at Port Tressler. Just take the wide view. Nothing sneaking in that corner over there. Nope. Alright, let's close her up. Get some fuel from the landing. I think we're a little under half of our fuel for quantum. Landing services. Yep. Some quantum refuel. You might as well do standard hydrogen.
Engines are on. Quantum fuel is at 100%. Takeoff complete.
The nice thing about this RSI too is, you know, from tip to tail, it can do a full 360 inside of these large hangars. Makes it easy and maneuverable too, so I can put the tail and butt it right up against a, you know, freight elevator, or just spin it right around.
Landing gear raised.
Okay. Lip in the pep. Fuel. It's 57. What is this one? 39.
Shields on.
Yeah, that's on Crusader. I believe that's a moon.
Throttle drive is now on.
Need to make back some of that money, because earlier today I bought that fabricator for the crafting, and that cost 100 grand. So I'm glad this contract is working. Then after this is done and delivered, if I still want to continue playing, I'll probably just do a little bit of hand mining. I have yet to even do the first mission for hand mining. I've done hand mining, but never in a contract status. It's always just been, you know, going out for fun, farting around, walking around planets, looking at the views. I mean, some of the sunrises and sunsets in this game are absolutely beautiful. I definitely enjoy a good sunrise. Every day I get up with my dog, and during the time of our morning walk, it always coincides and overlaps, so we get to watch the sunrise. And you know, it's dark for the first, you know, maybe 10 minutes of the walk, and then it's light for the next 30 or 40 minutes, whatever, you know, however long we walk. He enjoys a good one in the morning and at night. He is firmly asleep, planted on the couch right now, though. I took him to the PARK. And yes, I had to spell it, because if I say it, he'll probably wake up and perk up. Having a dog is truly a gift. Only other dog owners will understand it. I'm sure a lot of you that have never had a dog, you might disagree, but they're better in most cases than people. Always happy, always loving, always there to greet, always there down for an adventure. Always. Doesn't matter where it is. Go to Target or Home Depot, or, you know, someplace for him at the store. He's always like, fuck yeah, let's go, dude. Sits in the front seat, just chills out, catching the fresh air. I hope you guys enjoy this game. I'm sure you do. I keep getting, you know, some consistent views from people. You know, I'm a small streamer. I'm not, you know, I'm not doing this to make money or anything like that. I'm doing this for pure enjoyment. I mean, if it turns into, you know, a large base and, you know, getting partnered and all, you know, whatever it entails with YouTube.
Auto drive is now off.
Okay. Ooh. I do it for the love of the game, yo. Obstructed? What do you mean obstructed? Do I need to find an orbital marker? Why does it have 3 deliveries? What is going on? Collect shipment. What? No, I have the shipment, you butthead. Nope, there's an orbiter marker. I'm not sure if it's coming in with the transit redo system, but they're going to be changing this to where you're no longer going to need orbital markers. You'll be able to jump in and out of quantum freely. You know, but that is going to add, you know, some additional complexity to the game, because, you know, you're going to have to make sure that you're not you know, going to go straight through a planet.
Auto drive is now off.
Unless they have some form of, you know, say an automatic shutdown. So as you can see, when we're looking at this on the left-hand side, you'll see the red dot that's blinking right there. That would denote orientation up, you know, just like a beacon.
Shields are on.
Let's put in for some landing here. There's no rings to hit.
Landing gear deployed.
Seems like a fairly large station. This is definitely Seraphim. I know what Port Tressler looks like. Seems they've expanded the time it allows you to get into the dock, because they do time you out if you do take too long. And I haven't had that yet in this update, earlier today or right now. Okay, so we'll swing her around a little bit this way. Bring her down. Do a quick little rear view here. Yeah, we're good. By pressing the comma key, you can do an immediate rear view. Just in case you didn't happen to know when you're in your ship.
Engines are off.
Then we can line things up nice and easily. Alright, so if we're at Seraphim, that means we need 50. Sorry, I had a little brain fart right there. I was counting the cargo. I think it may have messed up. I don't think it gave me all the cargo. Well, that would be 48 and then a 2 SCU. Oh, I didn't power it up. Still seems like it's the unit is moving faster, like it won't keep the same tension here. So I have to make sure that the cargo is, far ahead of the beam. No, that one was good. quite sure how much that is. Tractor beam, send that down just to see. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 8, 8, 16, 32. That's 40. 42. We need one more box. Come on, don't glitch out like that. Now we just have the Port Tressler side of it, and this contract will be complete. Could do here. By the way, I found out that you don't, with that little hand symbol, you just right click and then it says carry now. Where before last video I dropped it on the ground and then picked it up to put it into my hands. So nope, you just right click now. So we'll put that on the counter. Or not. What about on the table? Or not, whatever. I'm not concerned about that. Okay, let's go to Port Tressler.
Engines are off. Engines are on. Engines are off. System off. Welcome to Rocket Space Industries. Enjoy the ride. System check. Engines are on. Takeoff complete.
It's awkward it did that again. Where you have to power down the vehicle.
Landing gear raised. Shields are off.
Tell me too close. Too close to what? Is the what?
Shields are on. Shields are off.
Then this poor Tressler's just in orbit of Microtech.
Auto drive is now on.
DIG, if you ever happen to listen to this, one nice thing, when you have overlapping destinations like that and you have either stations or things, have it be able to lock in with a key press, or the mouse scroll wheel, instead of trying to, exactly fidget where your destination is and where you need to go, because when they're stacked on top of one another, it makes it kind of difficult to find them. I mean, you can remedy that. Sometimes, I will laterally jump, so then I have a side view of my destination, and it'll spread out those points, and it won't be just them all straight right in a row. That's good. I can make a little bit of money back. And once I go to Port Tressler, I can head over and swap out for my Avenger Titan and go do the hand mining, and then call it a night. We've already been on for 45 minutes. About 2.5 hours is the max I can go. I don't know how people have a tendency to stream for 6 or 8 hours. I give them props and credit to do that. Plus, I'm never really in a rush to beat a game or conquer anything, because I'm not really making guides or content where I have to, oh my god, you have to be the first person to do this. That way you can soak up all the views, and, they're doing streaming for their reasons, I do it for mine. Plus, I have a tendency to do more live stuff anyway. I have yet to edit a video. I mean, I have, the ability to edit this stuff, but, I think in a world with social media, people are getting tired of the manicured and pedicured content that is, every word is perfect, there's never a flub or a mix-up, or... I think the raw, real experience, hopefully finds a niche of people that enjoy that. I don't need to take 4 takes on, what I'm talking about. It's just off the cuff, off the top of my head. What I'm thinking about, what I'm doing. I try to, I have my own opinions on social issues, but people don't care. You have your own opinion. You have your own vote. I'm not here to be a firebrand and, stir the pot and do things like that. That's attention seeking, to be honest with you. You know, once you realize that, you know, each individual has their own vote, and there's nothing you're going to do about that, you tend to take care of your, you know, your concentric circles of what you care about, you know, your household and your family, and whether it be God, whatever your religion may be, and country, and you know, there are ever expanding circles within that you care about. And once things gets outside of that circle, it's best to just leave them be and let them go. Spend time focusing on the things you can't change instead of the things that you can. You know, just like I'm not much on, you know, looking at what other individuals have or what they do, because it takes away from the time of me to provide my own experiences and my own things that I want to acquire in life and do. I don't have time for that stuff. You know, good on them. You know, I'm real proud of people for what they accomplish and getting their goals and doing it, and you know what's meaningful to them. By all means, absolutely, totally, dude. By all means. Nope, that wasn't it. Port Tressler's over here. Obstructed. So, what does that mean? We need an orbital marker somewhere. I mean, I don't begrudge anyone of anything, you know, because you can tell when there's, you know, a genuineness to sharing an experience or sharing something that someone's worked really, really hard for, and then, you know, a means where they just want to, you know, show it off in an unhealthy manner. There's a big difference, and you know, when you start seeing that in things, you know, it opens your eyes to a lot more of what matters to you. Because you know, when you can see the excitement of someone actually honestly sharing something, you know, a new dog, a new birth in the family, maybe they got their, you know, favorite car that they've always, you know, really wanted to work towards and get. You know, maybe bought a new house. You can tell the genuine experiences and happiness as opposed to, you know, attempting to do it for clout, so to speak. Be humble in life. Appreciate everything you have and work towards those things that you don't. I'm hoping I'm going to get lucky and it's going to be this one, but we'll see. Let's get this girl up in this bay and get rid of this.
Landing gear deployed.
And just park like that to make it nice and easy. Rip right out of here. Ah, see, I almost forgot to put my helmet back on. That was the whole cause of me dying last time. Last video. I can't believe I did that. I almost did the same thing, got a drink, and then, oh, here, let me not put my helmet back on. Alright, last one. Mission complete. You can see it's just as fast, pretty much, you know, with a hand max lift as it is using the overhead. We're clear. Always does that. I don't know why. It's like the first time you log into them, it... And... we good? There we go. $66,000. What are we at now as far as our money? Almost back up to 600,000. The ship I want is, I think it's like 2.7, 2.8 million for the Cuddy Red. I'll be right back, guys. Give me one sec. Okay. Let's go to New Babbage. We'll put this girl away. The reason I don't like using this for every mission quite yet is because of the inconsistencies sometimes with glitches and stuff like that. I mean, you know, I don't want to lose whatever weapons I have stored in here, and things I have in storage. Uses, yep, they're in good shape. So you do have ship repairs, in this game. There are componentry. For those of you that aren't aware of the game, so this is where you would have to repair your shields if they they happen to take too much damage. Batteries are not in the game yet. Your other shield generator is going to be in there. There's various compartments around each ship for the quote-unquote engineering. So I know it's blinking, but that's just because the ship is off and the engines are off. But there's no actual problems with the ship. So you'd have more fuses. Your power plant and cooler, life support, things like that you have to maintain. You can do it at the hangars here. They can repair those, or you can do it out in the field with the multi-tool. As long as you have a SRT canister, you can repair your ship components and put out fires. That's why they have fire extinguishers inside of the inside of the vehicle.
Engines are on. Takeoff complete. Landing gear raised. Shields on.
There's new Babbage, since we're on microtech here. Should be right around here, I thought. I'm thinking, but I don't have any of my markers.
Shields up.
Let's reset and go right back into SCM mode and see if it brings it up now. No? Big planet. Alright, let's bring up the mobiGlas. We'll go through maps. Search location. New Babbage. Why does it say it's 44.3 gigameters away? You're full of shit. New Babbage is right here on Microtech. The hell is going on?
Quantum drive is now on. Quantum drive is now off.
Yeah. We wasn't close enough. That was my mistake, not the game's. Oh, New Babbage. I'm gonna be honest, sometimes it is confusing whether or not I'm making a mistake or the game just kind of, has a bug. I'm like, am I doing it right or? No, not everything is attributed to the game. Sometimes I'm just an idiot. And I'm not doing it right. And I'm trying to put a
Is now off.
square peg in a round hole.
Shields are on.
Perfect, right there.
Landing gear deployed. Landing complete. Engines are off. System off.
Hey, look, my Lux actually ended up on the table there. I'm gonna leave it there. Just, oh, you know what? Let me use this. Just so I can show you guys the, persistent universe. You know, you can literally put a bottle in a cave and come back to it in a couple of weeks and it'll still be there. And anybody else that visits that cave will be able to see that bottle. Ooh, close it up.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieve. Your vehicle has been moved to our storage. Please visit us again. Goodbye.
Bring up the Avenger. The good thing about the Avenger too is if I want to cut it short, I can just bed log and log out of there too. From my experience, I've had bed logging is a little more stable. I've had times where, like now, you know, I put my Hermes away, and then I've gone to retrieve it, and it says I need to file a claim. Somehow it was mysteriously destroyed. Don't know how. You know. And it sucked too because I had it fully loaded with, my Atlas Geo. Weapons, supplies, everything I really needed. I mean, it was really tipped up, to be in, and it was kind of disappointing losing it.
Your vehicle has been to. Please visit us again. Goodbye.
I lost all that stuff, a lot of money, time, but that's okay. Yeah, and any problems I do encounter, I send them a log anyway, just so they can look at it. I mean, I'm not in any kind of program or anything like that, but I try to help the development team if I come across something that isn't working properly, or I just send them a log of the gameplay and they can go dig in, check it out, make sure it's okay. Oh, you know what? I wanted to change the ship livery. This is the standard livery. I like it. It has kind of a NASA feel. You know what? Actually, in honor of the Artemis, yes. That's very fitting. Looks nice.
Aegis combat system activated. Systems green.
Do I need any fuel in this? Nope, I am good to go. Oop. Do mining now? And mining. That's what I wanted. Hand mined materials. Okay, so this is kind of like the tutorial to hand mining, even though I've already done it. I get 27,000 credits. That's okay. Complete the mission to get all the blueprints for vault weapons. For this test, these blueprints have some slots. Okay. Mining fundamentals. In the journal. DMS Han on Magda. Okay, we'll take that. It might take us longer to complete than expected. Track that on screen.
Hey, how's it going? This is Jake Brogan with Shubin Interstellar. I'm gonna be handling your contracts from here on out. I've got a good feeling about you. We stick together and I think we'll go far. Anyway, just wanted to touch base and establish that solid working relationship foundation. Contract should have all the detail. Good luck out there.
One thing I do want to check here, let me get out of the chip, make sure I do have my mining attachment for my doop-a-doop-a-doo. Tractor beam, Cambrio light, and so what do I have on me as far as equipment? That one is the multi-tool. Orbit mining attachment, that's what I have on there now. Okay, we're good to go.
Launch complete.
So the contract has the materials that I need, but it didn't say. And I'm tracking it too, and the problem with the tracking is it only shows the destination.
Bye, and thank you for visiting New Babbage.
Go to the HDMS Han, but that's where I drop it off, right? So let me look at. Once you're ready to sell us the required materials, DMS Magda. But it wants to send me to the Han, right? Yeah, so that would mean.
Shields offline.
Not gonna work. There's too many objectives right there. HDMS on. changes. You know, we're going to the Christian system. Well, I forgot to put the new components and everything back in this ship. I have a better drive and cooling system. Hopefully we'll get to a point to where it doesn't keep resetting stuff in between patches. I mean, I really, like I said before, I don't even know if it means anything because, you know, when 3.8 comes out, I really firmly believe that's going to be their hard reset and wipe, because they will have taken care of all the current, you know, discrepancies, bugs, things that aren't quite working as intended in this patch. And then once there's stability in inventory, then boom, they could just, okay guys, we're going to take everything away from you and everybody starts fresh with just your pledge stuff. Hopefully this goes by quick. I'd like this stream to end in under 2 hours. I just want to relax. Chill out with my dog on the couch. I really enjoy streaming. I don't have many viewers, you know. I get anywhere between 5 and 10, maybe a little bit more views, but that's okay. I watch quite a few channels like my own that are small, and they're just on in the background while I'm playing with my dog and hanging out and doing other stuff, doing stuff around the house, cooking dinner and cleaning up dinner. I only stream to YouTube just because I feel like I don't want to be in that Twitch world. I don't know if that comes across right, but I just don't. There's too much drama on Twitch. You know, I see content creators, and you know they're always in feuds. They're always, you know, I'm better at this, and you're trash, and getting into personal stuff and personal lives, and I have no time for that petty stuff. So I will primarily always be a YouTube streamer. I know there's money to be made on Twitch or other platforms, but I've been on YouTube quite a long time. I created my channel many years ago and really just it sat dormant. I had some firearms reviews on there and certain things I put up, but I just removed them. Make it primarily a gaming channel. And I've been following, you know, a lot of streamers in the YouTube space for quite some time. You know, back when Woody's Gamertag, you know, before they had their PKA podcasts, and you know, they were just playing Call of Duty and, you know, White Boy 7th Street, and Drifter, and .5 megameters. So does that want me to go to an orbital? Far away. Probably on the other side of the planet.
Quantum travel initiated. Quantum travel
would imagine the HDMS Han is a ship that's in orbit. I don't know if this is gonna work. Because if I can't find out what the materials are, I won't be able to hand mine for them. Because it does not tell me. I'll dig around in the journal before I actually go down. Let's go back into the contract here. Blueprint for Volt weapons. Predictions. To get wildlife for crafting. No, that's not going to tell me. Well, we'll just land there and see if there's some form of an objective that it gives us. We were on the light side of the planet anyway. Keep myself from passing out right there. G-forces are a thing in this game, so it is very much possible. Okay, the cave nearby. Oh, okay. Oh, so it's going to do it. It's going to be a hand holder. There is an individual there already. Hopefully he doesn't mistake me for hostile. Just need 15 crystals, it looks like. Oh, 15 apparite, Dolivine, and Haydenite. Okay. Do a quick look, got my helmet on. Is it 5? Stolen one. So on the left-hand side, you're going to see the little meter that goes from green all the way to red. You obviously want to stay away from the red. On the right-hand side is your power levels for your mining. If you hold Alt and then move your mouse wheel up and down, it will raise and lower the power levels, which will then, allow you to start building the meter on the left. So you're going to want to keep a close eye on your power level on the right while you're heating up the rock, to make sure that it doesn't explode. Ooh. That sucker was not heating up right. I don't like the look of that one. Wasn't building any meter. Ooh, what's that? I think this individual may have cleared it all out. Not seeing any minables. Now, these are all shared instances within the world, so it's very possible with me coming to do this mission that, he's already cleared out this mine, which is okay. I mean, I know how to mine. That's up and out. I'm just wondering where he is. Did he happen to die? Dude, sent me a little deep up in here, huh? Yeah, I think the player got all the resources out of here. That's okay. It's something to try tomorrow night. Never really done contract mining. It's always just been going off on my own and doing it. It's all cleared out. And the only one we had was that one right there. Scan it again just to make sure it doesn't look like it's breakable. Some rocks are not breakable in this game. Yeah, see, it's not filling the cracking. On the left-hand side, you'll see the cracking symbol. So, like, normally you would scan something, right? Like this. And then once it's done scanning, it'll give you your breakdown. And it'll show you what it is. This is Dolivine. We'll start. No, this one is crackable. So once I start getting into the green there, you'll see the little plus symbol on the left-hand side start filling, and that means it's working towards cracking. So as long as you keep the meter in the green with your power, now it's not showing Dolivine as collected. Yeah, there's definitely an issue that also bleeds over from the cargo missions. Because I just collected Dolivine right there and it had no impact on my total, my sum. That. This guy's still here. He took his thing, but he left his atlas. And boom. Somewhere I don't know under the map. And that's probably what happened. And we have a bug. And we're dead. Bye-bye, world. Bye-bye. In space. Oh no. That's probably what happened to him. It's okay. I'm more. It's that I lost all the stuff that I have in my inventory. Shows me free-falling. It's crazy because it doesn't even give me, you know, the space flight. Like you would normally do if you were doing an average spacewalk in the game. Okay, well, that's backspace. Oh well. Now I know why his gear and his ship was there. He probably had the same fate. And there we go. Good as new. Storage option. We have on us. Yeah, we lost all of our stuff. Take that off. Let's put on everything. Let's show it all. So what are we gonna need? We're gonna need some. Well, we still have our weapon. P4, so we're gonna need some magazines for that. What's that? That's the tractor beam attachment. We're gonna need that because we have our mining one on us. Yeah, there's my quantum drive, my coolers, all that stuff. Power plant. That's all for the Avenger. This is why I keep a lot of extra stuff, just because I know, if the game's gonna fail, it's, it's the mining attachment. That's a spare mining attachment. Okay, well, we can just move 5 more of those over. And, what are these? C54 mags. C54 mags. P4 AR. New P4 AR? I thought I did. Maybe I burned through them all because I died before. No, I picked them up, I could have swore. Let's go to ammo. I don't have any P4 max. Okay. I guess we'll pick some up at, we'll pick some up on the way back to the hangar. And then we'll call it a night. Wasn't really discouraging that happened. It's just I'm near the time where I'm ready to just settle in for the night on the couch. But yeah, these are some of the things you're going to experience that might happen. Now, I thought maybe he made a fatal helmet error like I did. And, I could have looted his body, but I turned around from his mining machine and fell right through the earth. Or the turf. You know what? Food and drink, too. Can move that over. Oop. Sustenance. What? I only have 1 Synergy? Let me turn off all filters and go through this myself. Yep, it appears that would be the case. Yes, sir. That would be the case. So I gotta re-up on food and drink too. That's okay. We'll get it all at the Kelto store. In the Aspire. Buy a couple waters. Get a couple burritos. Hopefully they have E4. Gotta go over his personal weapons. E4 AR mag, buy. Give me 21 of those. Thank you. I don't feel so bad because I made a good chunk of change right there on the last mission. Yeah, 590. Oh, I burned through a couple thousand. It's okay. All in the name of fun. Alright, last page. Most recent stuff I bought. Let's get the drinks. The burritos. The magazines. And we will split off, what? 8 of them? Those in our inventory. Right. So we're back to workable. Let's head down the metro loop and go back to the hangars. There are definitely issues with not only cargo, but mining also. I really thought they solved the falling through the map stuff, but there's still some areas. When I log off, I will send them a data log of my geolocation, and then they can examine what happened and best course of action for correction. It's a good thing that that wasn't the Hermes either that I had taken out there, because if it was, I would have lost all that equipment in the Hermes and I would have had to claim that. It's just like I'll have to claim my Adventure Titan right now, even though the ship wasn't destroyed. But, you know, rumor has it that they're also looking at putting insurance on, not only, obviously the ships have them, that's why I can reclaim it, but also insurance on your personal belongings. So when you respawn like this, your loadouts will be the same, and I'm hoping that pertains to ship loadouts too, not just personal loadout. Because I would gladly pay a couple of credits to, save a little bit of the time. I mean, it's not really like it's a big deal. The Keltosaurus, on the way back down to the hangars, but. Okay, so we can abandon that mission. We won't try that again until we know it's solid. Oh, what happened to you, buddy? I want your helmet. I want your helmet. How can I take your helmet? contracts. We'll get rid of that one. We'll abandon that one. Boop, boop, boop. So here's where you can see your rep too, with you know, companies that you have. See, you can see I've done quite a bit of Kovalex. I'm already a junior in their transport for cargo. And you know, these are the companies right here. You see, I created. I just finished the mission before. That was a Red Wind, so that was a good enough volume to where it, you know, it got me through training and then into rookie status.
Innovative creativity.
Hey, it's Jake from Shubin. I saw you drop the job. Look,
Yeah, I did. It's
know we all
bugged.
get busy, but like Gavin Arlington said in his memoir, collecting dust.
How you been? You good?
A commitment to work is a commitment to yourself.
Yeah, I know. If it worked, I would do it, bro.
Think about that.
Chill out, man. Don't put this on me. Bugged here. It's gonna be like, what, a minute or whatever.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Yeah, put in a claim for that. File a
Insurance
claim.
claim has been sent.
2000 AUC. Yep, we'll
Thank you.
expedite it.
Please visit
I'll
us
wait till
again.
that.
Goodbye.
That's actually done and ready and available to retrieve, and then we'll log off. Yeah, I would have been slightly more upset if that was the Hermes. I'm sure quite a few people are sending him in the data log for that mission, though, considering it's the, you know, the initial mission to introduce you to mining. You know, if you hadn't done it previously. I'm sure everybody's like, "What the fuck? My shit just dropped through the ground. Fix your shit, man." I just don't get any kind of anxiety or anything playing this game. I've wanted a game like this for so long. You know, and I thought the other game, which we won't mention, was going to be it, but it wasn't. You know, Starfield's fatal flaw is you don't have the ability to play with other people, and that's always going to put it at a disadvantage. Maybe for the coolness of putting the ships together and building your own ship and doing missions, and you know, what good is it to build a ship and make it really cool if you can't show it to your buddy and be like, "Hey, let's go kill some aliens," you know?
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval
Cool.
System.
It's all done.
Please visit us again. Goodbye.
Exit to menu. And then game. So yeah, I mean that was a little disappointing falling through the earth on one of the prelim missions. You know, you think to yourself, "Oh, you know, that shouldn't happen." Like, did they just not play their own game? But like I said, you know, when you're putting new iterations, you know, on top of things, you don't know what kind of conflicts it creates. And I'm certainly not a programmer. I'm not gonna, you know, bitch, piss, and scream about it, because if I could do it better, then I would. But I don't know how to do it at all. I mean, I do know some coding from years back in education, but you know, it's so much different than it was. You know, Turbo C++ and all those things. I can't hold a candle to any of these people that create video games today. So shout out to them. I just kind of cut them a break. Not going to work perfect, every time, but they'll get it. They'll get it. So I just want to say thanks to everybody that watches this. Just give me a like, thumbs up it. It's free, man. It's free. I will see you guys in the next one. Later.